Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Stronghold issue number 1 from Aftershock Comics. That's right, baby. So this is a surprisingly really good first issue. I would have probably went a different direction, but I'm still loving it. Let's get into this, guys. This is issue number 1, chapter 1, The Human. Phil Hester is the writer. You've probably seen him drawing a whole lot of stories that you've read before, but he's the writer here. Ryan Kelly is on art. This story is created by Phil Hester, Ryan Kelly, and Tyler Walpole. Sorry, Wallop. The colorist is Dee Cuneef, and Simon Boland is on letters. The cover is by Ryan Kelly and Dean Cuneef. Logo designer Emma Price. All right, so here's this cat. All right, this there's a variant cover out there too. Sorry. So anyway, there's this guy. And he's walking through life and he's like, yeah, I can't remember a whole lot, but I've got these powers and I don't know where they come from. And it's like, what evs, man? What evs? So he's got these, like, there's something about, he knows all the different ways that people can die. He knows the statistics. He knows everything. And it's just really freaking weird, man. Really weird. Anyway, he goes on with these superpowers and he goes back to his office and he gets a delivery and asks the delivery girl on a date, and they go on a date. Not a big deal. Trick is, at this date, what happens is she's actually a part of this group called the Stronghold, and they're an organization that has a bunch of agents all over the place who are meant to protect this guy named the Primacy, and he is this divine being. If he ever regains his divinity through remembering his divinity, well, then this truce between the Stronghold and these other guys will actually be broken, and there'll be a huge war. Granted, the divinity will probably the primacy will probably destroy them all, but, whatever. But basically, the primacy remembering his past life will essentially be the end of the world, at least as we know it. So here's the funny thing about it. That girl, she's just back from her, and I forget what it's called. It's a hard name to pronounce for me, at least. Whatever, the Wanderlust, basically. The Amish, they'll have it so that at a certain age, when you come of age, you have a year or so to go off and partake in the spoils of the world, and you have to do it. And then you either choose to come back to the faith or you don't. There's no two ways about it. There's only one of those two choices. And that's all I know about it. I could be wrong, whatever. But this girl, she comes back just in time to rejoin the group. And she does rejoin the group, and she becomes the delivery person again. So, yeah, she's that girl who this guy asks her on a date, and he goes on the date with her. Now, the rest of this is mostly going to be spoilers because, it's not just me talking about the book. I'm actually telling you what happens in the book. But it's in issue number 1. And I think that's kind of important so you understand what you're getting into when you get into this comic book. Turns out he is the primacy, and she goes about a certain manipulative technique to prove to him that he's the primacy, tells him all about himself and everything, which means she pretty much started the end of the world. Now, what I was hoping was that it was going to turn out that the other side had actually gotten to her and tricked her into joining their side, or the other side were actually the good guys, and that the Stronghold was actually the bad guys, because it actually seems like they should be the bad guys. I mean, the way that the Hold Mother acts, the way that everybody acts for the most part, So anyway, weird, very freaking weird comic book, and I don't think I could love it much more. The powers involved in here, they're all basically like water bending powers from Avatar: The Last Airbender and all that. What happened? The characters are pretty discernible from each other. They have very different personalities from each other. They act clearly different from each other. And there's a story here. Now, it feels like the backstory's been told, but I don't believe it's anywhere near that yet. We still have to find out more about this other group, the so-called evil group. Are they evil? We'll find out. We'll have to find out more about what the primacy is going to do with his newfound powers now. Do they have a way of making him forget his powers again? There's got to be a way for all of these things. And I am curious to see where all that goes. Anyway, guys, I enjoyed this comic book. I really did. So consider checking it out. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.